Oh hello, this is Tak Chong from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. First of all, I would like to wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. I know that this is the biggest cooking day of the year for many people. I have been up since 1 a.m. Making this video as well as getting ready for cooking today's Thanksgiving dinner for my wife and I. I already baked a pumpkin pie for dessert, and instead of turkey, I'm going to bake a chicken. And you probably could guess what I'm going to bake it in a wok, of course. And for today's dinner, I'm not going to use any recipes. Instead, I'm going to use templates that I am already familiar with. I'm going to modify these templates to arrive at the results that I will be looking for. A template-based cooking is probably one of the most important concepts of my fast cooking system. The great things about template-based cooking is that once you create 10 to 15 different templates, you can cook almost unlimited number of dishes without ever use any recipes. With template-based cooking, you will be never bored with your cooking, because you will constantly make changes and adjustments to your templates to create new dishes that you have never cooked before. And this is what makes home cooking invigorating and interesting. But most importantly, you will never get bored of the food that you are eating. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the concept of template-based cooking using pan-fried pasta noodles. Both my wife and I love pan-fried pasta noodles, and it is one of our favorite dishes. This dish is similar to chow mein, but slightly different. The primary difference is that you pan-fry noodles a little bit longer until some of the noodles turn crispy. In Chinese restaurants that serve pan-fried noodles, they usually use egg noodles, and they use thin noodles similar to angel hair pasta noodles. We decided to give it a try with angel hair pasta noodles because that is always available. And the result was excellent. It tastes almost exactly the same as the egg noodles that serve in restaurants. So here I have created a basic template. This basic template is quite simple, but there are several important points that I must observe. First is that I will cook the noodles in advance, and I usually cook them in a wok. Usually I will cook 2 pounds of noodles. The wok turned out to be perfect for cooking noodles. Because of its wide opening, the noodles fit very well, and it is easy for you to manipulate them. Secondly is that I should never use freshly cooked noodles to make pan-fried noodles, because they will stick to the bottom of the wok and get burned. A third is that I can store the noodle exactly the way it is without adding any oil. So I store them in plastic container boxes like this, usually about 3 cups, which is just about right for my wife and I. I then store the noodles in the refrigerator for at least 48 hours. This storage time turned out to be critical because it dries out the noodles. So when you fry them, they will not get burned and stuck to the bottom of the wok. A next important consideration is to make sure that I add enough oil, sufficient to give the noodles a light coating. So this then becomes my basic pan-fried noodle template. So at one time, I have some extra regular spaghetti pasta noodle left over. I decided that I'm going to give that a try, using the same template that I use for pan-fried angel hair pasta noodles. I cook the noodles in the wok, and I store them in plastic containers in the refrigerator for about 48 hours. And then I pan-fry them, and the result turned out to be great. And the noodle do not stick or burn to the bottom of the wok during the cooking process. As expected, the angel hair pasta noodle and the regular spaghetti pasta noodle taste slightly different after they have been pan-fried. And because of the size difference, the angel hair pasta noodle tends to be more crunchy and more crispy as well, whereas the spaghetti pasta noodle tends to be a little bit softer and more chewy. And they each provide a different culinary experience. And my wife and I like both of them, and we welcome the differences between them because this will provide a nice alternative. It actually makes the dish better and more interesting. Also, by making minor adjustments in how I cook them, I can create different textures in these noodles. And my wife prefers the angel hair pasta noodle a little bit better, whereas for me, they actually about the same. I like them both equally well. Template-based cooking is all about exploration. To see whether you can use the same templates to explore other options. One of the greatest challenges of home cooking is monotony and boredom. Partly because when you use recipe-based cooking, you follow the recipes each time when you cook. During the days when I use recipe-based cooking, I used to cook the same recipe over and over again, until I become bored with the cooking process and disinterested in the food. This is when home cooking enters into a doldrum. I then will start to look to eat processed foods or eat in restaurants. And template-based cooking turned out to be a real solution. Because with template-based cooking, I am using the cooking steps that I am already familiar with. I am making substitutions of the ingredients. I then make small changes of the basic steps according to the nature of the ingredients. This not only saves me a lot of time, but it also allows me to predict the outcome. So after the success with the spaghetti pasta noodles, I'm looking to try some other type of pasta noodles. The other common type that I find in the supermarket is fettuccine. This is a flat noodle. Right away, I know that it will give a different culinary experience. So I treat this noodle the same way according to my basic template. I cook about 2 pounds of noodles in my wok, and I store them in plastic containers. And then I find many different uses for these noodles. In addition to use it with traditional spaghetti sauce, I also use it in a noodle soup, in an Asian lo mein noodle dish. They are all based on templates that I have used with other type of pasta noodles. And now the next step is for me to try it for pan fry. And first and foremost is I want to make sure that when I pan fry it, the noodle will not stick and burn to the bottom of the wok. Since when that happens, the dish is ruined. I predict that it will turn out okay, and it actually did. It did not stick to the bottom of the wok, as in the case with other pan-fried noodles. However, because it is flat, it actually fries slightly differently, with some part of noodles fried more than the other part. Depending on how the noodle comes into contact with the surface of the wok, it actually provides a very different culinary experience. In fact, I was pleasantly surprised how good it tastes. And when we compare these 3 different types of pasta noodles in this pan-fries approach, we actually like all of them, but in different ways. So this is the power as well as the benefits of template-based cooking. We basically use the same templates to create 3 different types of dishes, with each of them provide different experiences. This is what makes home cooking interesting, but efficient at the same time. Template cooking is not static. Instead, it is dynamic. By constantly looking for new opportunities, you create changes in your basic template. I absolutely loved and enjoy cooking. Mainly is because of template-based cooking. However, template-based cooking is accentuated by the other 3 aspects of the fast cooking system, which is flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and of course, template-based cooking. The fast cooking system worked very well for me. And now I cook 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and never get bored or become disinterested. Because through making small changes, my cooking continues to evolve, and making the food taste better and the process more efficient. And I will never get bored because each time when I walk into the kitchen to cook, I always are looking for doing something differently. And this is what makes cooking interesting and fascinating. Again, I wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you tomorrow. Keep on cooking.